An RT crew was locked up in a U.S. jail for 32 hours after filming a protest against a controversial military training facility in Georgia, dubbed the School of Assassins. Reporter Kaelyn Forde described her treatment as brutal, and international organizations condemned the use of police violence against members of the media. But despite all the outrage, American mainstream media has remained silent. Gayane Chichakyan has more.
It started off as a peaceful rally outside a U.S. training camp for Latin American military and police officers. What followed this nonviolent protest caught everyone by surprise. Dozens were arrested. Police targeted journalists along with the activists.
I'm a member of the press. I'm a member of the press. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Among those arrested were RT correspondent Kaelyn Forde and RT cameraman John Conway. Both there on assignment, covering the protest that brought together thousands of people.
I'm so tired, I can't feel my finger.
I asked the officer to please remove the handcuffs, these plastic handcuffs, and at least put one on that was a little bit looser. He took out a hunting knife to remove my handcuffs, and that's actually part of the reason that I have the cuts on my wrist.
For hours, Kaelyn hadn't a clue what the charges against her were.
We asked on the bus, what are we being charged with? And one of the sheriffs said, don't worry, no charge, the ride is free. We were taken to the county jail and we ended up spending 32 hours there.
Student Tommy Ramirez, who was there as an activist, tells a similar story.
I kept asking them, what did I do? Tell me my rights, tell me why I'm getting arrested. I kept asking them and I never got an answer from them.
Every year, thousands of people gather at the gates of the training camp dubbed the School of Assassins, calling for its closure. Officially there to train Latin American military and police, it schooled many of Latin America's most notorious torturers, mass murderers and dictators. Despite anger at the establishment, violence has never been part of the protests. So why the mass arrests now?
We feel like the message was, look, you know, we don't even want you to be there. We're going to make it dangerous, you know, to make you think twice to even show up.
Despite the outcry from many at the rally that their rights of freedom of speech and assembly were trampled upon, it's not a story that's caught the eye of the U.S. media.
We can see the newspapers of this country editorialize in favor of free speech and First Amendment and give stirring and passionate defenses of these core American values. But when another journalist from another media outlet is arrested without charge, without provocation, and put onto a paddy wagon, those media outlets are largely silent. And I think it's because they feel like these are stories that aren't supposed to be covered.
Well, I guess so much for covering stories ignored by the U.S. mainstream media. The incident at Fort Benning left some guessing what would have been the extent of the media coverage in the West had a member of the foreign press been treated in a similar way in some other country, say Russia.
The remarkable thing about it is, let's say, you know, in Moscow here, a BBC correspondent or a CNN correspondent had gone to a demonstration where there was a legal permit and was roughed up by the police. And in the case of our correspondent, she was almost sexually assaulted. Those are her words. That would have made headlines all around the world. It would have been a diplomatic row between countries. But no, in the case of the United States.
The international community has condemned what's happened and called on the U.S. to respond. Even the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe sent a letter to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton calling the journalist's arrest disturbing.
While it is clear that police play a crucial role in maintaining order during public demonstrations, the indiscriminate rounding up of media and bringing charges against them goes well beyond what's necessary to keep the peace.
But the U.S. State Department, which is usually quick to condemn freedom of speech violations in other countries, has remained surprisingly tight-lipped about its own. Gayane Chichakyan, RT, Washington, D.C.